According to ChatGPT, Q4 is the make it or break it time for majority of the e-commerce brands, the time when most of these brands earn up to 40 to 60% of their annual revenue just during these few months. So it makes sense to get it right. But the problem is most brand owners have zero clue on how to sell like crazy during Q4 while maintaining profitability. As a result, although the revenue ends up being extremely high during Q4, the profit is nowhere to be seen. Now, selling like crazy during Q4 actually doesn't start off with the ad side of things. I see so many brand owners believe that the way to scale with Q4 is to run up the budgets, is to run up the bids, and to just launch a bunch of stuff, because that's essentially how you spend more money and that's how you make Q4 more profitable. But this is so far away from the truth, and by the time brand owners actually realize this, it's already too late. So what do you do exactly? How do you sell like crazy during Q4? The first thing you need to understand is selling like crazy during Q4 actually starts from the foundation up, and it all starts with things like your landing page experience strategy, the SMS email marketing that you do, the retargeting campaigns and strategies you have running on Meta ads, on TikTok, Google, etc. And then when you combine it with things such as the right kinds of offers and promos and whatnot, that's what truly makes Q4 scale. But the main things that you want to keep in mind, because this is pretty much the 7th Q4 I will be going through in my career and in my journey, is building hype to one main time period with promos is the key thing you want to approach any strategy with. Doesn't matter if it's via emails, SMS, retargeting. Your strategy should not be already having a bunch of timers on your landing pages, because what this does is it essentially reduces the impact the real sales during Q4 has, because everybody loves having some sort of hype to live up to. Everybody loves joining into this hype, and when you offer it from the get-go, such as a pre-Q4 sale or a pre-Black Friday sale, etc., what happens is this hype factor completely gets removed. And although you might make a few extra sales here and there, overall Q4 ends up being very mediocre, which is what you want to stay away from. And the starting point for this is by not offering too many sales from the get-go. But in terms of the actual strategies, how to ramp up your revenue, how to ramp up your profitability, what you want to understand is selling like crazy during Q4 is all about bundling up your best sellers. It's all about bundling up your complementary products for higher average order values and higher LTVs overall. Because essentially what happens is during this time period, the overall audience and the overall people coming onto your landing page, they're in such a high buying intense mood that they are more likely than not going to not only purchase what they came for, but if the deal sounds right, purchase 2, 3, 5 other items. And the best way, the easiest way to make this straightforward for them is to directly run ads to your bundled offers, to your complementary offers, which work hand in hand. For instance, if you sell a pair of shoes, offering your best-selling socks tied it as a bundle, of course, by raising up your prices and whatnot, not only helps improve your AOV, but it allows you to now get those people who may have already been in the market for socks as well and actually increase your market share. But all of these are foundational things which can be applied to literally any and every aspect of marketing, of running your e-commerce brand. Getting a bit granular now and going into the Google Ads strategy side of things, because majority of the brands we work with under my Google Ads agency or marketing, which by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you want to scale to the very next level with Google Ads, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But majority of these brands are heavily focused on not only connecting a proper Google Ads strategy to go into Q4 aggressively, but making sure that this ties in to all of their business goals and to all of their other e-commerce desires. And this essentially on the Google Ads side starts off with having the right kinds of promos and offers with the Google Merchant Center. Now, let me show you something very interesting. The thing with the Google Merchant Center, what most brands don't realize, is a lot of the things that you do within the Merchant Center to make it better, to improve it, actually end up tying into your overall e-commerce strategy, into making things a lot better for your overall brand advertising efforts. What I mean by this is, for example, one of the key things which I always recommend brands focus on during Q4 is the store quality badge right here. Essentially, this is a top quality store badge which your brand gets if you follow certain criteria, if you ensure that the algorithm perceives your brand to be a top quality store itself. And there's a few things you can do, starting from shipping experience, having certain delivery time, shipping costs, to even things like the browsing experience, how many images that are high resolution content do you have on your landing pages, the images per offer, even the speed of your landing pages on desktop versus mobile. All these things impact your ability to get this top quality store badge, which ultimately also ties into your other advertising efforts, because if you are a top quality store, then you probably have a high converting landing page because it's so fast. You have a lot of high resolution images, your return policies, shipping policies, etc. All of them are on point, and this directly ties into the top level, allowing your brand to scale very, very quickly during Q4 and to actually sell more, because the easiest way to sell more is not by spending more money, is by rather adding more efficiency to your current Google Ads strategy, to your current Google Ad approach, which this directly ties into. But in addition to that, moving on to the actual landing page experience, what matters is how you are speaking to your customer during Q4. I see so many brands, what they do is they have the same exact landing page experience as they do during the other Q1 to Q3 periods, besides maybe a timer or besides maybe a special promo within their description. But there's so many other things that you could be doing. For example, one of the major things which a lot of the brands we work with do is they add certain sparkling effects during Q4 or during Halloween, for example, to give this sort of Halloween vibe or their overall Christmas vibe to their entire store from the get-go. And these are small things which can be done with external apps and whatnot, but the strategy behind this goes much, much deeper than the surface level things you see. Because what happens is now, instead of just having a normal approach with your ads, you're now bringing more of a festive appearance to your overall landing pages, to your overall website, and this alone allows the users to connect with the brand on a deeper level, because it goes beyond just a transactional A to B approach that normally you would have with just a normal simple landing page, like for example this one. So going above and beyond with your landing page experience, from the relevancy you have of the keywords within your product titles, descriptions, expected CTRs of your ads, because these things not only tie into Google Ads but also with Meta Ads, because if somebody coming from Meta Ads has a high bounce rate on your landing page because what they saw in Meta Ads creative or what they were expecting was not what was matched on your landing page, well, obviously the algorithm as a whole for all of your platform is going to take this into account, and as a result you're going to get the lower quality pieces of the audience, which you want to avoid at all costs. But essentially, having these things in place in terms of the foundation directly ties into the ad strategy. And with ads in general, doesn't matter if it's Google Ads or Meta Ads, this is at least what we do with Google. You want to run with what works already during Q1 and Q3 versus trying to reinvent the wheel in Q4. I can't tell you how many brands I speak with still to this day who during Q4 are trying to find their next winning approach. I mean, that's something that should have already been done during Q1 to Q3, and if it has not been done yet, you want to pick whatever approach, whatever strategy was even at a small scale working during Q1 and Q3 to replicate, to basically scale upon during Q4, because the last thing you want to do is waste time and budget on unnecessary things that are related to testing during a season like Q4, because Q4 is all about ramping up revenue and it's all about ramping up profitability. And with that being said, however, the thing you want to keep in mind is Q4 is all about simplicity. It's not the time to have 50 different campaigns, doesn't matter if it's Meta Ads or TikTok Ads or Google Ads running at the same time. It's not about doing a bunch of different things in terms of scaling, where you have vertical scaling, you're trying to increase budgets, decrease restrictions, but at the same time, you're trying to launch multiple different campaign types. Like for instance, with Google, this might be going from shopping and key max placements to now demand gen or search or YouTube. These things, if they're not tested already, don't have the right time during Q4 to be tested, because Q4 is all about scaling what already works. It's not about trying some brand new things. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still have maybe a small portion of your total budget. Ideally, 90% should be going towards what's working and 10% should be going towards maybe testing different things. But you want to keep it at that level, because anything more than that and you end up risking not taking advantage of Q4 to the best of your abilities. And with scaling during Q4, the real way to scale like crazy with Q4 is to just reward the algorithm when things are going well and punish it when things aren't going well. For instance, if you notice your campaigns with Google, they have a high ROI and they're very profitable, reward them by adding more budget to it, ideally between 10 to 20% of your budgets, or punish them if they're not doing well, if the ROI is not there in the last 3, 5, 7 days, by decreasing your budgets, by increasing the restrictions. It's as simple as that. And you want to keep the scaling strategy just as simple, because again, fancy things are not going to help you get more profitability during Q4, which I personally believe is the ultimate goal. But again, if you run a brand making 50K or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, go on to my website at yourmarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.